Howdy, Todd. And whoever else is there with you. Somebody else is in there. Saturday. Tailgate. Normally for Steph and Skip. Not a problem, Boris. Glad to have you for as long as I can get you. Definitely have a good time with your friend. If y'all are having cigars, let me know about it later. Because, you know, I'm kind of into cigars. Yes. Happy end of your IPSD, which of course is the International Pipe Smoking Day. For Boris, it's almost over. For those of us in America, it's, God, only halfway over. For me, no, not even that. I still got another hour to make it to halfway. So how y'all doing today? Like I was saying, normally this would be for Steph and Skip, but Steph and Skip are packing up one of their children, and from what I hear, he's going to be moving back towards me. Still can't convince Steph and Skip to come this way, but they'll send their children. Which is fine. It's fine. Nothing I'm going to worry about anyways. One of these days I'm going to have to knit Boris one of these hats. These things are damn warm. All that cold weather he keeps getting. Not necessarily in these colors. Oh, man. So I don't know specifically if Rambling even knows that I'm here. $30 degrees there, jeez. Blooming heat wave. I only got you by 18 degrees. But 48 is still below my 60-degree threshold for not having something on my ears. some snowfall. For Finland, that's like us Americans saying, some spoiled. Us Americans are something spoiled. I don't care what anybody else says. If you've been to other countries, you'll understand. Some of the things that we complain about are definitely first world country problems that most of the world would just wish that was the extent of their problems. Y'all don't have to believe me. You probably should believe me, but you don't have to believe me. When does snow realistically stop falling in Finland there, Boris? Now, I'm not talking about the section up there above the Arctic Circle where it's possible that it could snow any time, on any day. I just figure if there's a certain set limit where snow just really it doesn't happen anymore until it gets back towards this section of here. Here in Houston, it almost never snows, but the last couple of years we've had a little spit and a spat of it. Nothing big, nothing major. Not cold enough to actually be snowing now, obviously. 48 degrees. The hat I'm wearing is too damn warm. All right, Boris's friend just showed up. He's out of here. Boris, you take care. Glad you could make it in for when you could. We will see you again sooner or later, I'm sure. Enjoy a cigar. If you can, have some bourbon. I know it goes well with most cigars. Coffee if you can. There's a lot of hot coffee in that cup. I know I've got it. There it is. Howdy, y'all. There's 3 of y'all. Remember, this is Tailgate. Y'all got to talk with me some, too. If y'all want to talk with me, I'll converse back with you. Howdy there, Truth, Money, and Freedom, also known as Dell. I'm doing pretty good. Boris just left. He's got some company. Came over, I guess. I'm guessing they'll be smoking some cigars. Hey, not a problem. I'm always open to anybody making, conversation. Just the easiness of it is. We tend to be here for each other, and it's pretty easy to do. Yeah, I put on a different hat. I actually knit this one myself. Fits my crazy shaped head, keeps the hair from showing. Trust me, it's good enough for me. But yeah, the lighter one was a little too light, and I didn't really want to sit here with a hood, so I put this one on, which is a little too warm. The hats I knit, though, they are windproof and warm as crazy. Hey, not a problem there, Dell. I like putting them on. Of course, mine are a little different. I do end up lecturing a lot, and I apologize for that. If I get on a rant and y'all just need me to settle down, just say, hey man, settle down. Which is fine, I don't mind. It's summer in Houston almost year-round compared to most places. This last Tuesday when I was out here and it was 16 degrees, that was that was unusual to say the least. I know, but sometimes I got this feeling like I'm just pissing people off. Part of the reason why my channel doesn't grow for shit. But I don't mind. I'm not trying to grow my station or nothing. I'm just providing a good spot to sit around and wait while somebody else's show is getting geared up, warmed up, or whatever. It was so fresh it had dice in the mirror. That might get me copyright struck. Oh my goodness. I'm getting visited. Nope. My cat named Toby decided to walk away. See, that's what I was thinking. This is just a good spot to sit around and meet and get in the mood of, just relaxing, being ready to watch a good show. If you think about it more like, okay, he's on, great, we can get ourselves something to drink, get our pipe ready, clean it out, whatever. Get a comfortable place somewhere in the shade or the sun, depending upon what you prefer. Get your life geared up and set up so that you can just go and enjoy the next show up. I'm sure I am going to end up ranting about copyright laws. I mean, it's probably impossible that I don't. But yeah, so when I started this, realistically, I noticed that a lot of these channels, um, especially Mike's on Thursday and Chad's on Friday, they would start with this little dribble. And then this dribble would become a little bit of a wasted time where a lot of people were just coming in one or two at a time, and there's a bunch of hi, hi, hi. And we'd burn off, 20, 30 minutes just saying hi to everybody. Not that that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all, saying hi to everybody. But the shows would just kind of drag for that first 20 minutes or so. And I thought, if I can kind of go out there and say, hey, look, let's just meet up here. And then when that show starts, we'll just all jump over. If there's 15 to 20 of us, we can do that. Oh, my cat's going to say hello. This is Toby. I didn't name him Toby. But I do call him Kunta Kitty because he wears blackface. That's so wrong of me to say that. But I didn't name him Toby, which was, of course, Kunta Kinte. When I pointed that out to my wife, who named him Toby, her mouth hit the ground. She was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That is so fucking wrong. It's like, I understand that. But my friends who are people of color, the ones that know me, they kind of got a kick out of it. They said, hell yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, you didn't name him Toby. I didn't. I just pointed out that he's... And realistically, he's a seal point Siamese, and that normally comes with a black face, black paws, and a black tip on their tail, which he's classic on that. And loud mouth, talkative, jeez. I want to put duct tape over his mouth half the time just because he will not shut up. He's quiet when he's outside. But if he's inside, he's just constant. Meow, meow, meow. He says hello a lot. Meow. Sounds almost exactly like that. He's just looking for people to talk to. I don't know why. Oh. No big deal. Just a cat. Cute cat. Lovable. Everybody's his friend. He's not met a bad thing yet. He's been in fights with other cats and he still thinks that they're his friend. The only one he's not friendly with is my cat. And of course my cat is named Trump. What's I'm smoking? This is some more of the Flying Dutchman match. And this is just the little cob. I don't remember the name on it. I know the General Bent cob. That's my big cob. If I'm going to be hanging out for more than an hour, I always smoke that one. If I'm doing the show, I can do a smaller cob because I'm going to talk more than I'm going to smoke. Howdy, Steph. Boris had to go. He was hanging with a friend unless he came back in. Of course, I'm tailgating for the Rambling Dilettante. If you're asking me, or it's probably dilettante, but if you're asking me how to spell that, just don't. Oh my God, no. Now, see, I've got Toby, who's about 10 pounds, skinny and long. And then I've got Trump, and he's about 18 pounds, built like a bowling ball, and just stocky, but long-haired, so he looks like he probably weighs about 30. And Trump likes to run up at the other cats and get real close and stop, and then start smelling them. But that freaks out Toby. So Toby goes to wow and hissing, and if it wasn't for the fact that Toby has such long limbs, Toby'd be toast. Because he'll go start swiping at my other cat, Trump, and Trump will freak out and start swatting back. But because Toby's so long, he can really put those legs out there and get at Trump from long enough distance that he's not really taking any damage. But Trump won't learn that running at Toby's always going to get him swatted. And Toby doesn't learn that Trump doesn't want to do nothing other than just let's smell each other and be friends. It's weird. I don't understand cats. I don't have to understand cats. They're not human. Steph might disagree with me. So, Steph, I know it's not Arlo that's coming this direction. Well, I gotta tell you, she would probably kill Toby then. Trump, on the other hand, probably not. Trump is very muscular, and he normally does get the better of any of these situations. Part of it's because of that long hair. Part of it's because he actually came up to the house from the wild. I'm not saying he would, but there's not many animals around this area that I would bet on against him. Cataloging. I don't believe in cataloging unless, of course, I'm shopping. And, of course, they did away with my favorite catalog, Toys R Us Christmas catalog. Come on, y'all knew that was coming, right? Because everybody started buying all their toys online because you couldn't go to the store and pick them up no more. It's ridiculous. Understood. But if nobody's going to go to the toy store, why go to the toy store? Oh, well, if he's 19 years old and his name is Duncan, he might want to move to San Antonio instead of here to Houston. If you could convince him that the Air Force is the way to go, I know they're accepting. No, you don't have to tell him that, but it's always an option. Timer on, Dell. Timer on. Of course, Dell's in England, so yes, tea. Tea is very acceptable. I do like some tea. Though here in the Houston area, we tend to drink iced tea year-round. Coldest day of the year, sit down at a restaurant and order an iced tea. Of course, if Skip's over there, don't know why he would be wanting to watch this show. Sorry, Skip. Oh. I will say watching that last Super Bowl was kind of like watching that one that happened in 2002. That one where the Raiders basically sucked real bad. It was almost like Andy Reid mailed whoever it is that's the head coach of Tampa Bay, or maybe it was just Tom Brady, and he said, hey, look, here's our game plan. Here you go, have at it. But injuries also played a big portion of that. It's not fair just to say that they looked like they were playing bad, or it looked like the other team was inside the huddle with them. I am willing to bet that one of the first things that they draft this year is going to be an offensive tackle, though. Probably somebody who's a multi-role offensive line person somewhere in their draft. The real question for Kansas City, at least in my mind, is going to be, when do they start cutting people so that they can continue to produce a Super Bowl type team? And who is it that they start cutting? You got to keep a good quarterback. If you don't keep a good quarterback, you're going to be stuck having to pile on a defense. You know, think that first Super Bowl that the Ravens won. They won in spite of their quarterback. They didn't win because of their quarterback. They won on defense. I mean, if European football had a salary cap the same style as American football, there would be teams that would be completely different. If you don't believe me, just name the top 3 guys. If you name the top 3 soccer players, football players of European football, or what the world calls football except for the United States, you know what? Messi's going to be on that list. Neymar. There's probably one more. Ronaldo, yeah. I'm pretty sure we can say Ronaldo, yeah. But look at what those guys are making. Okay, so those guys are making quarterback money. Okay, so I did get Ronaldo right. Okay. You know, Beckham was up there for a while. There's some names up there that they make money. Doesn't matter if their team is the best or not. They're still going to make all that money. Well, the problem is, if they had the same salary cap as, say, American football, they would have to seriously cut their team back to just scrubs if they had any one of those players, because they couldn't afford the rest of the team if they have that one player. It's the same thing that's going to happen with American football, especially with this COVID, because they restructured the whole system and they put a new salary cap in. And that's because the NFL as a whole kind of lost money this year. Nobody was watching it on TV. It was almost a useless, couldn't watch it product. Just what it is. But if they had a similar basis for their salary cap, you got to consider Ronaldo makes about 1/4 of what his whole team could have. So he gets 1/4, the rest of the team gets 3/4, which means what? You're going to have to cut that good goalie that sits back there and collects everything that comes his way. And nobody wants to cut that guy. You're going to have to cut your halfbacks that are, back there making sure to get Ronaldo that ball. Oh, you got to cut the guy that plays across from Messi that is real good at bringing the ball up and then really good at timing it just right, because he's played with the man so long that now they can read each other's actions. They know, hey, look, if I just put it out here, I lead him by this much, he'll get there and it's going in the net. Well, that's kind of where American football is going to go. A lot of fans are going to be pissed as they watch their teams cut players left, right, and sideways to make that salary cap happen. Another crazy thing that happens with that salary cap, if they are 1 penny above the salary cap, when all the calculations come out, if they are showing to be 1 penny, the league has the option of taking any one contract and deleting it until they're under the pay scale. That means they could pick that contract for your quarterback. They could pick that one for your linebacker, for your safety, for that one person that is just your absolute best player, not named your quarterback. They could do that. They could do it for your quarterback. They could do it for any of them. It's what's in the bargaining agreement. So if they've got enough money over and they have to cut 3 contracts, well, now here's the problem. They still have to field 53 people. I think 3 of them don't have to dress, but they have to put 3 people on active, or they have to put 53 people out there as these are our active players. luckily for football, there's a lot less players that actually have to be on the team. As I think y'all can go with 24 on regular seasons. It might be 27, I forget. But think 53, you got to put 53 people together. That's a lot of money because you also have a league minimum. You have to at least pay this amount to every player. But if you add up just the league minimum, if your whole team made just the league minimum, you have spent 1/4 of the cap. So if the whole team minus one player makes half the cap, well, if you're looking for high-end free agents, you'll have lots of cap. But you got to be worried about where you spend that cap. And see, that's the other side of it. If you don't have a group of at least really decent players out there with your one good guy, the other team's going to go after him as hard as they can. Because they're going to either figure out a way to get him red carded or they're going to get him injured. One of them's going to take him out of the game, one way or the other. I'm not saying that red card is all that easy. You get some of these guys that they haven't seen a red card ever. But enough time people come at you, you got to do something about it. If you do enough, you get red carded. Red card, you're out the game. And out partial of the next game. I believe you're out for one whole game, which is what, 90 minutes? So you can come back. Like if you get red carded at 33 minutes into the game, you can't come back until 33 minutes into the next game. The yellow card's that warning, but that red card, that's some serious business there. Oh, Houston actually has a decent football team called the Dynamo. And we've got a female team, the Dash. They even built a whole stadium for them. It's pretty nice. Of course, my real team for football is Man U. Go ahead, Dell. Tell me how wrong I am. I know. I've always liked Man U. I don't know why. It goes back to when I was like 5 or 6 and playing, soccer over here. Got some tapes so that I could see what they were doing, so I could learn how to be better. That's who was available, was Man U. It's not like we just had a plethora of different teams to watch here in the States. Nobody wanted to watch soccer. You could listen to it on the radio, but my Spanish isn't good enough to be that fast, so I couldn't really understand anything but goal. I'm going to stop there, but you have to take 3 breaths before you can finish the word goal. I'm serious. You got to be able to sit there and hold it out there for 3 breaths. And because I was a swimmer, I've got a lot of breath in there. Aston Villa, any relation to Aston Martin? Yes, I do know a little bit about cars. Cars that are not American. I do know a little bit. Oh, I could probably get hired as a commentator for actual football games. The problem would be I would have to learn all the terminology, and then I'd have to really, really be set up right next to the Spanish broadcast booths, because I would be out there to show those guys how to actually do it. Because you got to be able to breathe in through your nose while you're exhaling that loud gold. That way, you hold it for the full 3 breaths, but it doesn't sound like you're going, so that you can go, oh. And if your team's really good, you better have the lungs and be able to make it exciting, because let's be honest, there's games where 1-0 is the outcome. And you got to be able to just sit there and this guy brings it forward to that guy brings it back out to this guy is kicking it back over to the left side. Your team is going from left to right. If you are paying attention on the radio, we are heading for the north end of the goal. Right, so that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to hold it out there for like 3 breaths. Just to me, it seems kind of funny to say it like that, but it is something that came about from being in the European leagues, and I know that it came about from the European leagues, and then it transferred over to the Central and Southern American teams. I don't know the exact timing of that, but it happened very quickly across that whole thing. And oh yeah, the English announcers are like, goal, and that's blah 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 blah, and they'll tell you who did it and what time it was, because there's actually a way to score it so that it's got a time stamp, and they'll tell you about how this person should be getting an assist, and this person here made a good screen, and they'll tell you about the breakdown of the play more in detail, whereas most of the other ones, they just hang that word goal out there for forever, because they weren't. I find I like the proper English version better, because I can kind of see what went on in my mind. I can close my eyes and I can kind of see, okay, this guy had to have been over here and this guy was over there, and one of the opposing team was over on this side, and it came around like that, and then okay, so it makes sense to me because I can visualize it. But I'm never going to get that level of detail, which is what I like about the proper English broadcasts. You never get that level of detail out of your other broadcasters because, like I said, they like to hang that word goal out there. They don't break down the play that actually got it in the goal. And, sometimes you get the proper English guy, and they're just like, yeah, they really faked out the goalie there, and they brought him over to the left side of the net, and with a good passing play, snuck it back in on the back side of the right. But I can visualize that. I can say, oh, okay, so yeah, they got it there, but they made a decent passing play. They went to an off player to kick it in. Here's your guy that got the assist. Here's your guy that got the goal. This is the time period that it happened. There's a lot of information that I get out of the proper English that you don't get on a lot of the broadcasts, and you will not get it on like the Spanish stations, at least not here in the Houston area. Oh no, they're going to scream goal like it's going out of style. Just being honest. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just, and I have listened to the Hispanic, especially because it's so much more exciting. If you can sync it up so that you can get, like when World Cup soccer's on, if you can get the game you're watching and the Spanish broadcast, and you can watch what's going on, and you can hear the radio broadcast, so much different, so much better, just awesome. Because it really gets you to like want to jump up and do all the chants and cheers and all of that. But if you can't understand rapid fire Spanish, which I can't, I understand Spanish and I'm okay with it, but if they get going real fast, real excited, I'm catching every third word, and that's just not enough. So that's when I need the more detailed English version. If I can't watch it, I'm going to need the English version. If I can watch it, it doesn't matter who's in the background babbling on. I can tune them out. But I know when it's been a good play and they start screaming goal, and it's like, yeah. Okay, so maybe I'm not the only one. The proper English guys are pretty dry. But if you're watching a station and you can't understand the language and you can get in English on the radio, then you should also be probably pretty good there. Of course, half the time I can't even pronounce 80% of their names. I know during World Cup, I'm just sitting there going like, come on, tell me the name so I can be like, yeah, I'm following that player for this particular game. When the Brits get excited, though, you will know. But there's something about the King's or Queen's English. Which is the proper terminology there? King's English or Queen's English? Right now, y'all have a queen, so I guess it's the Queen's English. When she passes on and it becomes whoever's next, I believe. They're set up to be king. So then it would become King's English, if I remember correctly. It was explained to me once, and I only half listened. I wish I would have listened a little better. They just make everything sound so proper. But when you start hearing the word bloody, man, you know something is up. That word doesn't come out unless something's exciting. Unless, of course, you're in Ireland or Scotland, and then, well, all bets are off then. I haven't really had to think about who the king or queen is going to be next because, well, she was queen before I was born. And the way she's going, she might be queen after I'm already dead and gone. She's German.
Is all the water on the stove been boiled?
Yes. So looky there, we have almost tore up another hour. Not that I'm trying to get out of here any earlier, but I am going to, right? You go past a certain line that used to be a wall, and you get into certain country places, and it just goes right off the edge of understandable. And I have tried, hard tried. Okay, I have found the Rambling Dilettante's station, or Rambling Dilettante. That's how it's said. Now, of course, I am doing this exactly like any other tailgate. So let's. Did that show up or show through? If not, I'm going to type it in real quick here. I'm not sure how to drop a link into the chat, but that's how it's spelled, and I don't know if you can cut and paste. Just be aware that it's all one word. The and rambling is exactly like you would think it's supposed to be, but it's D-I, so die, let, tan, T. Now he's not on yet. He's not on yet. I'm just saying I found his station. So, I mean, and of course, as soon as I see him come on, I'm going to be jumping over there myself, at least for a little bit. My wife wants me to kind of come in. She already peeked at the door, but I'm going to finish my pipe, which I've been screwing off and not smoking. Go figure. Yeah, so if you're looking for his station, it will say IPSD Special Edition Live colon space filling in for Steph and Skip. It just that's what he's got listed. And you know, anybody who's gonna do these things, if y'all are filling in for Steph and Skip, and I know, and I'm doing the tailgate, you're getting the tailgate, and I'm gonna send everybody who normally would come over to my station right over to yours. Because hey, but I've watched several of his videos. He's a pretty good guy, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to be disappointed. Me, big boots to fill. I always try to fill up my boots. They're only size 10. But again, this is tailgating. This is what tailgating is about. We talk about anything. I mean, seriously, one of these days I'm just gonna like not say anything until somebody picks a subject. It's gonna be pretty boring until somebody comes on and says, "Hey, let's talk about this." Away we're gonna go. Hey, why not? Tailgating can't always be about what I want to talk about. Well, that's one of the cool things about the YTPC. We will fill in for each other. I mean, part of me doing this was when a little over a year ago, one of our members was sick, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll throw an hour out there. Sure, why not? You know, guy's in the hospital. He's obviously not going to be up to doing his own thing. They asked, I did it. And then when Chad had all of the orange skies from the fires last year, I kept checking to make sure, hey, Chad, if you need me to jump in there, I will. Howdy, Phil. Hey, and for anybody who's looking for filling up your YouTube locations, you got to check out Phil over at the Briar Report. If you don't believe me, it's probably because you haven't done it yet. But you can go to briarreport.com or briarreport.org, and I know that the .com is going to take you to a list, and you can click on any name in that list and it will take you to some sort of site, whether it be a blog or a YouTube station or something. But you go down that list of YouTubers and you click on every last one of those names, you will fill up your people to follow list pretty quick. Sooner or later, you're going to start seeing it's not just me who shows up all the time. There's lots of us. We try to make sure that people always have something that they can get around and see. And Phil, for the Briar Report, he's the one that made it all happen. Maybe not all. I'm not talking like all as in like every little bit of the YTPC. But I've never seen a better list or a better news site that can get you cigars and pipes and accessories and keep you in touch with the rest of us. Plus, if you're thinking about doing a live at all, get in touch with Phil at the Briar Report. Let him know that you're going to be doing some lives. You get that information out there, it goes on the newsletter. The newsletter goes out to thousands. If it's at a time that they can watch, they're going to show up. I take my funky times when I can because, well, I don't care if people show up. I care that they show up to the next show. I think we all end up with too many to follow. It always seems to be a problem there. The only thing I don't like about Rambling Dilettante's name is I looked up the definitions for rambling and dilettante, and I was just like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't work. I mean, he's a good guy and pretty well educated on his subject matter, so the whole rambling dilettante thing just didn't really fit. But that's the literally only thing I ever found wrong with the Rambling Dilettante. $50,000 people a month. Holy crikey. So you actually are getting some good hits then. Understood, Dell. Understood. Not a problem. But if you're sitting there and you're just thinking, hey, you know what? I want to go looking for something. Let me see who's out there. You can click on a name and you don't have to immediately go and subscribe to their channel. It's nice if you do, but if you don't, nobody's going to tell you you have to. But right now, with all of the GAWs going on, it's almost crazy to not follow everybody. They're giving away good stuff. I know some of them are not going to ship it overseas. Part of that's because you ship it to a foreign country and then it turns around and comes back, and then you ship it back to that foreign country. And you end up wasting 3 times what the product costs, and they never did get it. Really? I never pictured Phil as a Street Fighter video game kind of guy. But that would make sense. We do believe that he is possibly the real Marcos Ramios. The one portrayed so well by Sean Connery back in the day. Okay,
It's my specialty.
Rambling is on.
Ah,
We're going to go jump over there. I will see y'all all soon.
that's right. Happy Inner
Thanks for
Smoking
coming
Day
along.
to those of you in the
Really appreciated y'all
live
showing
stream
up.
right now. Just
Let's
got to
go.
adjust the chat so we can see when you guys talk to us.
Let's go have some fun,
I've
and
got
I'll see you
Zach
over there.
with me
As remember,
here.
and as always, take
Coming
care of
through on
yourselves,
the
take
old
care of each other,
Chromebook.
do the best you can at that,
Hey, it's
and
Eddie
as
Gray from
always,
the Pipe Nook.
long
What's up, Eddie?
lives,
Happy
big bowls,
International Pipe
and
Smoking
long
Day,
ashes.
IPSD.
Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.
And to celebrate International Pipe Smoking Day, we went to our local tobacconist.
Oh, we got to go into the brick and mortar finally.
Yep.
Canada famous Thomas Hines